Have you ever wondered how turbulence affects your body during a flight? Turbulence, that juddering, shaking experience we've all felt when flying, is an inevitable part of aviation. But what exactly is it? In the simplest terms, turbulence is a disruption in the smooth flow of air, much like waves on the ocean. It's caused by a variety of atmospheric conditions, everything from temperature changes to air pressure fluctuations to the jet stream and even mountainous terrain. There are different types of turbulence too, from the light chop that barely rattles your drink to the severe kind that makes you grip your armrests a little tighter. Now, turbulence is not just a roller coaster ride in the sky. It's also a fascinating subject of study because it interacts with the human body in unique ways. It's a bit like being on a boat in choppy waters or riding a roller coaster without the loops. Your body, especially if you're a frequent flyer, is subject to these atmospheric changes and it responds in kind. Now, we're not just talking about the queasy feeling in your stomach or the sudden jolt that wakes you up from your in-flight nap. The impact of turbulence on our bodies can be profound, affecting both our physical and psychological health. From musculoskeletal responses, cardiovascular effects, and motion sickness to anxiety, stress, and sleep disruption, turbulence can touch every aspect of our well-being. But here's the thing. Despite its inevitability and potential effects, turbulence is not something to be feared. In fact, understanding turbulence, its causes, and its effects on the body can help us better prepare for our flights. It can make us more informed passengers and even more relaxed flyers. So, buckle up and join us as we navigate through the mystery of turbulence. In the upcoming scenes, we'll delve deeper into the physical and psychological impacts of turbulence and explore some of the coping mechanisms and safety measures that can help mitigate these effects. While turbulence is a common part of flying, it can have significant effects on our bodies. Let's delve into these effects. Turbulence can cause more than just a bumpy ride. It can physically impact our bodies in several ways. To understand this better, let's delve into the science behind the physical effects of turbulence on our bodies. Our first stop is the musculoskeletal system. That's our muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones. When turbulence hits, the unexpected movements can send our bodies into a tizzy. Our natural reaction is to stiffen up to brace ourselves. This sudden tensing of muscles can lead to strains and, in severe cases, injuries due to abrupt shifts or falls. This is why flight attendants always advise keeping your seatbelt fastened when seated, even if the seatbelt sign is off. Next, we move on to the cardiovascular system, essentially our heart and blood vessels. Turbulence can trigger what's called the stress response. This is our body's way of preparing to fight or flee from danger, something our ancestors developed to survive in the wild. It involves the release of stress hormones, which cause an increase in heart rate and blood pressure. While this is a normal reaction, it can be potentially hazardous for individuals with pre-existing heart conditions. Finally, we come to one of the most common complaints during turbulent flights: motion sickness. This can result in symptoms like dizziness, nausea, and disorientation. But why does this happen? It's all down to a mismatch between what our eyes see and what our inner ear senses. Our inner ear is responsible for maintaining our sense of balance. During turbulence, the erratic motion can disrupt this balance, leading to the unpleasant symptoms of motion sickness. So, does this mean we're at the mercy of turbulence? Absolutely not. Understanding these effects is the first step towards managing them. For example, knowing that turbulence can cause muscle tension, we can consciously try to relax our muscles during turbulence. If we're aware that turbulence can trigger a stress response, we can use techniques like deep breathing to help calm our bodies down. And if we know we're prone to motion sickness, we can take precautions like avoiding heavy meals before flights or using over-the-counter motion sickness medications. So it's clear that turbulence has a significant physical impact, but that's not all. It also affects us psychologically. But we'll save that discussion for our next scene. Until then, remember, turbulence may be uncomfortable, but it's a normal part of flying. And with the right knowledge and precautions, we can minimize its impact on our bodies. Turbulence doesn't just shake up our bodies, it also shakes up our minds. You see, when we experience turbulence, it's not just our physical bodies that react. Our psychological health takes a hit too. The unpredictable nature of turbulence, coupled with the feeling of being trapped in a confined space, can lead to heightened anxiety and stress levels. For some, the fear of injury or even a plane crash can trigger full-blown panic attacks. Now, imagine this scenario. You're cruising at 35,000 feet, the seatbelt sign flickers on and the plane begins to jolt. Anxiety sets in, your heart races, and your palms sweat. This is a common response to turbulence, a primal reaction to perceived danger. But the psychological impact of turbulence goes beyond anxiety and stress. It can also disrupt our sleep patterns, especially during long-haul flights. Have you ever tried falling asleep only to be jolted awake by a sudden bout of turbulence? It's not only frustrating, but can also reduce the quality of your rest. This sleep disruption, coupled with the stress of turbulence, can lead to fatigue, affecting your overall well-being and mood during the flight. Furthermore, for those who regularly experience flight anxiety, the fear of turbulence can be so severe that it leads to a long-term aversion to flying. This isn't just an inconvenience, it can limit personal and professional opportunities and restrict the freedom to explore and connect with the world. But let's not forget that turbulence is a normal part of flying. It's caused by natural weather conditions and is something pilots are extensively trained to handle. Understanding this can help to alleviate some of the fear and anxiety associated with turbulence. Indeed, the psychological impact of turbulence is profound, but it's not insurmountable. As we'll discuss in the next segment, there are ways to cope effectively with turbulence, reducing its physical and psychological impacts. In the end, it's important to remember that while turbulence can be uncomfortable and anxiety-inducing, it is a normal part of air travel. By understanding its effects on our psychological health, we can better prepare ourselves for our next flight, ensuring a more comfortable and less stressful journey. With these physical and psychological impacts, it's crucial to know how to cope with turbulence effectively. So how can we better handle turbulence during our flights? The answer lies in a combination of coping mechanisms and safety measures that can help us mitigate the negative impacts of turbulence. Let's delve into these. Firstly, pre-flight preparation plays a crucial role. Airlines often provide information about potential turbulence, arming passengers with knowledge about what to expect. This transparency can alleviate some anxiety. It's also helpful to pack comfort items like a neck pillow or favorite book to create a sense of familiarity and peace in an otherwise unpredictable environment. Next, we have in-flight measures. The most basic yet pivotal is using seatbelts. Fastening your seatbelt, especially during turbulence, significantly reduces the risk of injury caused by sudden shifts or falls. It's a simple action that can make a world of difference. But what about the stress, the anxiety, the elevated heart rate that comes with turbulence? Deep breathing exercises and other relaxation techniques can be incredibly beneficial. By focusing on your breath, you can help calm your body's response to stress, lowering your heart rate and easing tension. Mindfulness and meditation apps can guide you through this process, transforming a nerve-wracking experience into an opportunity for relaxation and self-awareness. For those prone to motion sickness, over-the-counter medication or pressure point bands can be a helpful preventative measure. Speak to a healthcare provider before your flight to discuss the best options for you. And let's not forget about the importance of hydration. The air in the cabin is often dry, which can exacerbate feelings of discomfort and fatigue. Regularly sipping on water can help keep your body feeling balanced and refreshed. Finally, we come to post-flight recovery. Turbulence can leave you feeling drained and off-kilter, even after you've landed. Adequate rest, hydration, and light physical activity can help your body bounce back. A gentle walk or stretch can ease muscle tension, while a good night's sleep can reset your internal clock and offset any disruptions to your sleep pattern during the flight. In essence, coping with turbulence is about preparation, mindfulness, and self-care. It's about understanding your body's reactions and providing it with what it needs to navigate the experience with as much ease as possible. And remember, turbulence, though unnerving, is a normal part of flying. It's not indicative of danger, and pilots are well trained to handle it. So the next time you're buckled in and the plane begins to shake, take a deep breath, remind yourself of these coping mechanisms, and know that you're equipped to handle it. Understanding turbulence and its effects on our bodies is the first step towards a more comfortable and safer flight experience. So, what have we learned about turbulence and its impact on our bodies? We've delved deep into the world of aviation, uncovering the profound effects that turbulence can have on our physical and psychological health. It's clear that the sudden and unpredictable movements caused by turbulence can strain our muscles, and, in extreme cases, lead to injuries from abrupt shifts or falls. Our bodies react instinctively, tensing up and putting additional stress on our musculoskeletal system. Moreover, the stress response initiated by turbulence can cause a rise in our heart rate and blood pressure. This can be particularly problematic for individuals with pre-existing heart conditions. And let's not forget the disruption to our inner ear's sense of balance, leading to the unpleasant symptoms of motion sickness, including dizziness, nausea, and disorientation. On the psychological front, turbulence proves to be a common trigger for flight anxiety. The fear of injury, or, worse, a plane crash, can lead to heightened stress levels. This manifests as anxiety, panic attacks, and in some cases, a long-term aversion to flying. Even our sleep patterns aren't safe from turbulence's grasp, as it can interrupt our rest during long flights, reducing the quality of our sleep and compounding fatigue. But it's not all doom and gloom. We've also explored various coping mechanisms and safety measures that can help mitigate these effects. Airlines can ease passenger anxiety by informing them about the likelihood of turbulence and offering tips on how to handle it. In-flight measures such as wearing seat belts during turbulence can significantly reduce the risk of injury. Breathing exercises and other relaxation techniques can also help manage anxiety and physiological responses to stress. And let's not overlook the importance of post-flight recovery. Adequate hydration, rest, and light physical activity can help our bodies bounce back from the effects of a turbulent flight. In conclusion, understanding the effects of turbulence on our bodies highlights the importance of preventive measures and proper management to ensure passenger comfort and safety. Continued research and education on this topic can help mitigate the negative impacts and improve the flying experience. Remember, turbulence is a normal part of flying, but with a little knowledge and preparation, we can make our flying experience a whole lot smoother.